Let me tell you the best thing about ocean exploration sci-fi game Subnautica. It's that the game starts off with this amazing little moment. You're in a spaceship, it crashes, you're in a little escape pod, it's fine. And then you just climb out to see what's up there. And what's out there? It's an endless expanse of glittering sea. And the world you're about to explore is otherworldly in two ways. It's alien, obviously, but also aquatic.
Get in the water, man.
Yeah, all right, just give me a minute. Look, the thing is, it hammers home just how strange this world is. You start off the game, you start off with this morsel of normalcy, you within your little pod, only to then see this endless expanse, this deep, terrifying, beautiful world ahead of you. It's just, this moment is the lightning rod that just charges the entire game, brings this monster of a creation to life.
Get in the water.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the water.
Get in the water.
I'll get in the water in a minute. I'm not scared. I just don't want to
get in the.
All right, I'll get in the water. Survival/crafting games are almost as prolific as the actual sea these days, and I've got to say that unlike Quinn's, I'm not exactly a massive fan of them. Subnautica is a funny one too, because it's also an underwater game, something I generally find to be traumatic and unplayable after being bought Echo the Dolphin as a child, because no one realised that game was fucking terrifying. And also, though, I find survival stressful. Subnautica's survival mode is wholly optional though, letting you explore the sea without having to worry about finding food or purifying water. You can even go full creative mode and make it so that oxygen and health and death aren't factors, although frankly the constant risk of drowning is what makes being under the sea so bloody exciting. Sebastian the Crab didn't mention that, did he? Never take advice from a musical crab. But the key thing about playing without food and water as necessary resources is that effectively it allows you to treat each dive as a fresh reset. Oxygen and health are easily replenished, which means that the excitement of each dive exists almost in a vacuum. You go out there, you find some stuff, you come back and you start again as fresh. You're just dipping in, doing stuff, going back, rinse and repeat. And sure, that gives the game less gravity. There's no sense of having to manage resources across multiple dives. It does make the world feel maybe less heavy, less like you're physically there. But notching down that level of stress and realism just a couple of clicks makes Subnautica a game that I'm actually able to enjoy, which is kind of more important.
So, that's a nice surprise, but Subnautica is a game where the surprises keep on coming, in every variety, covering every vowel. From, oh, what a nice fish that is, to, ooh, what an impressive geyser, to, eee, look what I'm building, I built it, it's mine, it's not yours, you can't have it, to, I want to go home now, to, But I think the simplest way to describe why I love Subnautica is to use shorthand of another game. Do you remember that feeling when you first start a game of Minecraft and everything around you is wonder? What's over that hill? What's under my feet? What's that monster there? Oh god, why does it want to eat me? And then the pride and coziness when you build your hovel and survive the night, and then, if you're anything like me, it's all downhill from there. The sense of majesty in the environment melts down into mundanity, and you have to keep yourself entertained with ever more pointless projects. Ooh, maybe I'll dig down to the bottom and do something with redstone? No, you won't. That's for the clever kids. Just dig up some dirts and put them on top of each other. Yeah, that's more your speed. Subnautica, then, is a game designed to keep Minecraft's initial sense of danger and wonder and pride going for its entirety. This landscape you're looking at isn't procedurally generated, it's handcrafted, and first survival and then a story continually nudge you out of your comfort zone and into each new biome where you can dig up new blueprints and fill your pockets with handfuls of gross new sea life, and then you can put the weird nettles you found in an aquarium, and then you can wonder why you built an aquarium when you can go to the corridor next door and look at the actual ocean, and then you can stop thinking about it and go to the fabricator and you can grill a weird fish for your tea. But what makes Subnautica shine as an exploration game isn't simply this wonderful environment that we're deliberately just showing you just a glimpse of in this video. It shines for the same reason it's different. It's that undersea setting, which provides some of the most effortless gating I've ever seen in a video game. You see, humans are intrinsically bad at exploring water. We need to do this thing called breathing, right? Maybe you've heard of it. And the need to return to the surface in Subnautica for tasty oxygen immediately limits how deep you can go. And it makes exploring caves terrifying. But unlike traditional Metroidvania gating, where you'll find another oxygen tank in a boss's bum and then that unlocks a deeper part of the world, Subnautica simply gives you the tools you need to explore wherever you want, with the level of danger you want, however you want, and then just says, well, get on with it. So you might start by gulping down oxygen bubbles from plants in a pained flashback of the shittest bits of Sonic the Hedgehog. But what if those plants aren't around? Well, you can construct mad networks of air pipes that run to the surface like a big weird straw. And then if you're like me, you could drown because you can't find your straw. Or you could fill your inventory with air tanks. But air tanks slow you down and make you less able to run away, and mobility is another human flaw you have to patch up. You could use your cool underwater fan vehicle thing, assuming you remembered to charge the batteries. Oh, god damn it. And then what about light? What time of day do you want to launch your expedition, and how do you keep yourself from getting lost? Look, you can build this completely badass cable thing that exists for the sole purpose of you leaving a thread behind so you can find your way back. But that's one more inventory slot you're giving up, one less item you can take home. Still, you get to feel like Theseus in the labyrinth, so that's cool. Haha, game. You thought you could outsmart me, but oh god, what the fuck is that? So clearly, Subnautica is freeing, but it's more than that. It's satisfying, because the challenges you're facing are rarely placed in your way. They come from your own greed and your own short-sightedness. Maybe my favourite moment I've had in Subnautica was when I was above a vertigo-inducing trench and accidentally dropped my flashlight from the inventory screen. And as this thing went spiralling and flashing down into the darkness, in an instant I had to make the choice whether to dive down and try and rescue it, or abandon it and swim to the surface. Even gravity in this game isn't an enemy, but it's sure as hell not on your side.
So survival games stress me out, as mentioned earlier, but I also don't often deal well with the kind of creative, buildy, engineering aspect of these types of games either. I'm an artist, alright? I produce art, which is a polite way of saying that I don't properly plan the things I make before I start making them. In Minecraft, unless you're building a tiny hut, that method of construction quickly ends up being disastrous. Well, I mean, actually it would all be fine if I wasn't also a horrendous perfectionist. Games where creativity largely hinges on a world of cubes just leave me constantly wrestling with symmetry. My greatest lover, my greatest foe. So let's briefly dive into the meatball marinara trench of game design to explain why Subnautica lets me sidestep some of these problems. First up, the bases you build are modular. They're less complex, which means, yes, you get less control of what you're making, but you also have less chance of making something that's totally shit. And even after you've spent those resources, at any point you can disassemble stuff and get all of those resources back. It's easy to make pleasing things without feeling like you're an idiot who doesn't understand construction. But my favourite buildy thing in this game is the pipes. The pipes, oh boy, oh Danny boy, no. The pre-made, gorgeous, luminous world isn't one that you can hack away at to make it your own. You can't dig caves, you can't do all that stuff, but the network of oxygen pipes that you build helps the world really gradually feel like it's yours. And crucially, these pipes aren't built for aesthetic pleasure. You don't spend ages lining them up, making them all look neat. It's practically impossible. These pipes are a kind of network of oxygen that are meant for your survival. Scrappy, bendy, ramshackle stuff that you basically use to just pop over to, grab some oxygen, and then carry on exploring. But they also end up serving an alternative function, and well, that's really cool. Over time, these pipes begin to act like man-made constellations, tiny roads that stretch out above you across the ocean, giving you a sense of where you are now, where you've been, and where you plan to go and explore in the future. Now, instead of building landmarks and placing signs, or things that you can still do in this game too, these pipes effectively become the stars that will guide you home. And that's awesome.
So that's Subnautica, and you know what? We haven't even shown you the amazing sea monsters or wonderful toys you get in the late game. Oh, there's so much to find.
So much stuff, but you don't want to know about that. And to be honest, this is a game that's still in early access. It's worth getting, it's worth toying around with, but maybe don't play around with it too much before it's out.
Oh,
Because
Matt, do you know what happened to me?
What?
I got really into it. I played it for 6 hours, then the signposting's not all there, so I went to the wiki, and the wiki's full of spoilers, and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, so make sure you don't, when you're out there on the internet, make sure you don't see spoilers.
Oh, like under the sea. Like
Under the sea.
Sea spoilers.
That's a funny joke.
Anyway, yeah, it's very good, and I also like the fact that it's not especially violent, which is a nice change. It's got lots of sea gardening and stuff.
I
want it to be out.
I really want it to be out too, man. I'm just gonna play some more right now.
Oh, but what am I gonna do?
I don't care, buddy!
Anyway, thank you for watching this video of us talking about Subnautica. If you've enjoyed it, then you can go to coolghost.net and talk about it. There'll be a link to that exact page if you're watching on YouTube. That'll take you straight to the page on our website where people are talking about this video / this game. And yeah, if you really like this video, then you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/coolghost, because our work is entirely crowdfunded.
Yep, no adverts, just hot games.
Just hot games.
All the time.
Hot games. Do you want to chat to hot boys about hot games? You're in the wrong place. Thank you.
What?
Goodbye.